everybody. Will Robertson, of course, Acting Up and Acting Up live stream. I'm actually just fiddling with my Instagram because I usually try to go live on my Instagram while I'm doing this, so you know that we're doing this, and I'm having a bit of a problem with that. Today's show, boy, it's going to be a lot of fun. I decided to have two guests on. Well, technically, at first, I thought they were going to be one as one, but we are going to do some fun stuff and do a group, a team, writer, director, producer, actor, pretty much jacks of all trade, and a master of many of them. And they'll be on in just a second. We're going to talk a little bit about other stuff going on, but let me get the live stream going because if I don't, right now, by the way, we are broadcasting on my YouTube channel. You can check it out, actor Will Roberts. Just search me. And then, of course, we're on two live streams on Facebook, Facebook Live, and also on my Twitter account, which is actually, I think it's an evening of magic because I'm also a magician. And by the way, one of my guests, Steven, he put a little thing on saying that he was going to be on my show with a trick roper and a rope tricker, and yeah. All right, I'm gonna beat him up when it gets on the air because when people, you spend 40 years as an actor and they bill you as a trick roper, you're doing something wrong. He's in the wings laughing. Wait till he gets on the air. You can hear him. Anyway, we're gonna have a great show today. Hey, what's happening in the world of acting? Well, let's see. We're kind of loosening up a little bit and not saying anything about the fact that you should still be wearing a mask and a lot of the fun stuff. If you're not, you're just stupid. Anyway, but all that other fun stuff happening in the world of acting, a lot of fun stuff is people are producing and doing, and it's all in Atlanta. Thank you very much. All these years we've been here in LA. But I've been furiously, feverishly trying to get an agent in Atlanta, and it is not easy. It's not easy. It's the first time I've actually used the word acting and easy in the same sentence, and you know what I mean. But the bottom line is that it's not easy. If you try to go on and find an Atlanta talent agent, pretty much it says, like for representation, it says gone fishing because it's not that easy. You have to know someone, and I thought I knew people, and I don't. And if you're watching this, I'll wait for your call. Anyway, and all kinds of other stuff. Hey, by the way, someone just actually texted me on Facebook and said that they saw the IHOP commercial and they saw me in it. Thank you. In acting terms, that means cha-ching. That's good. National on TV. So that's kind of fun, but it's different than it used to be. If you have been doing this for a long time, like I have, you know that back when I started in 81, yeah, grandpa, back in 81, I did a Nissan commercial and made, like 20 grand or something. And I went like this and touched the product twice. It was an accident and I was Taft-Hartley. Nowadays, like I used to do 2 a year. I'm not bragging. I'm just saying because of my trick roping and balloons and clown and garbage like that, which by the way, get a skill. It helps you get in. You're lucky if you make 5,000. You're lucky if you make 5,000. And the reason why I was excited about this today and finding this out is because if you make the cut, because now the contracts consist of 55 pages you got to fill out. You do them every time you do something now, and you got to fill out all these pages. But the biggest print in bold says, if you make the final cut. It seems to be the main thing on all the tops of the pages. So sounds like either I made it or someone else that looked like me made it in the commercial. That being said, I'm very excited about doing the show today. I have two gentlemen on. I'm not going to say their last names because I don't like to have that whole I'm saying their last names. You'll see it in the lower thirds, mainly because I can never usually pronounce their names. Steven and Chuck. I'm going to bring these guys on, and when you see who they are, you'll be very excited because you know them and you're watching this on Facebook. Ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, here we go. I'm bringing the guys in. I'm very excited about this three-shot here. Welcome to the show, guys. Wait a minute. Studio audience is in the back right now. They're building me a pool. And we're very excited. Welcome to the show, Steven. And, of course, Chuck. How do you say your last name, Steven?
Foster.
That's easy. And Chuck?
It's Pelletier.
See, I would have tripped over that one. And Stephen, I want to ask you a question. Has anybody ever like Stephen Foster? Isn't that the guy back in the '80s and '90s that did all the like the Hill Street Blues, or isn't he do all the music? Wasn't that the guy?
No, Stephen Foster was actually a composer in the South, and he wrote "Oh Susanna" and "My Old Kentucky Farm,"
What?
"Camptown Races," and
Seriously?
yeah, yeah,
That's
and
awesome.
that's why I kept my name because it was sort of famous before I started acting.
Wow, that's awesome. Chuck, so
I
what's
think the
your
other guy was David Foster.
That's right. See, that's why we have Chuck on, because Chuck will know all the right stuff. Guys, welcome to the show. I'm very excited to have you on.
Thank you. Happy to be
Great.
here.
You know,
Thanks for having
it took a while. It was one of us was busy, two of us was busy, and when you're trying to get three of us on, look, Chuck's just we had this conversation off the air about Chuck's camera. Chuck, no one cares. You're Chuck. You're beautiful. No one cares. They don't care as long as they get to see your full face. You're an artist. Remember that. Guys, so let's start off with the first question, which I don't know what it is, but all I can think of is how did you come up with, um, first of all, your website name? I'm going to go to Stephen. I'm going to let you start this conversation. If you go to roundearthentertainment.com, what does that have to do with anything show business? I'm curious. Why the name?
Well, Will, like you, Chuck and I started in theater. And through theater, many years of theater, we actually evolved into making a short film called That's Opportunity Knocking. And as an actor, I was always just an actor and never really thought about producing or doing my own work. And we have between us about 10 different screenplays and a
Wow.
whole, and Chuck has hundreds of songs and I have plays, and it's never been under one umbrella. And once we put That's Opportunity Knocking into the world, into the film festivals, and we started winning all these awards, and we got on Amazon Prime,
Yeah,
we said, well, we need to have like an umbrella, a company, Round Earth. And Chuck loved the term Round Earth. And so we put all of our work, my acting, his songs, our screenplays, under one umbrella called Round Earth Entertainment.
that's
And
great.
it's sort of, I would say, our production company because everything that we produce springs from our brand of screwball comedy, and so
Uh,
that's the whole thing about Round Earth Entertainment. We have our own production company.
That's fantastic. I do love the name. Hey, if you were a Trump voter, it would be Flat World Entertainment. But did
Exactly.
I say that? Did I say that? Anyway, uh,
I can hear it.
but it's on video now. Chuck, so are you technically in this arm of the company? Would you be the music writer? What is your actual title in the company, or do you guys even have titles?
We don't have titles. Basically Stephen and I are co creators in this creation, and I did start out as a songwriter. In fact, my day job is one of my main gigs, I guess I should say, is I'm the music director for Princess Cruises.
Oh,
The
awesome!
vocal music, the vocal coach, music
Sure,
coach.
sure, sure.
So, why, uh, why round Earth? I have. It's funny that I work for the cruise ship line because I've always been interested in like Magellan and Columbus and those early sailors that sailed around the world, and I've always loved the mystique of that. So,
Yeah,
and the truth, when they learned that the Earth wasn't flat, it's round, and
yeah.
and so truth in, to your point, truth in the world, truth in the news, that's all important to me. So that's part of what rolls into Round Earth.
I really see. I really see a photo shoot coming up with you two as pirates standing in front of the Earth at
Love it,
Round Earth Entertainment.
love
Very,
it.
very HMS Pinafore-ish.
I
I
look really good in a
a
funny
modern Major
beard.
General.
I don't wait. That's by the way, that would not be HMS Pinafore. That would be Pirates of Penzance, wouldn't it?
I thought that was Pinafore.
I
I could
did.
be
I
wrong.
did HMS Pinafore, and I don't.
I guess that's
It was yes.
Penzance. You're right.
Yeah.
Sure.
Sorry,
It's not Mikado. I'm positive it's not Mikado. Anyway,
Gato.
to
Wait,
to
But
wait.
answer.
Stephanie has something to say.
but I remember that from the Christy McNichol movie called The Pirate Movie.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry you remember that.
I'm sure
Hey,
she saw it too.
you know what? Let's take a look at this trailer. I think you're gonna like this. This is something that they have put together. That just by the way, if you're interested, you can get it. Take a look at it on Amazon Prime. Here we go.
That's all I want in the whole wide world is to live like those guys in the gangster movies.
So where's the suitcase?
That's my suitcase. I put the blanket over it to keep it warm. What do you say we take this into your bedroom?
Are you two robbing us?
The only thing more awkward than the wrong people having sex is the right people not having sex.
You know what your problem is? You're not intimidating.
How about now?
Not at all. Not in the least.
My psychic told me that I
How
am
could you go to
always...
bed with that unstable little twerp?
So you're Rob. I'm Wally. What's your name?
I don't have a name. I'm your worst nightmare.
That's from a movie.
I told him he doesn't got it.
Damn it!
I'll rip off rich people with you, 'cause I got nothing else to do. I'll rip off rich people with you, and let's get ice cream too.
Gotta let the credits roll. Gotta let the credits roll. Guys, great job. That's awesome. And you're having good success with this?
Yeah, we had great success with it. We won 24 awards at film festivals, and people have really loved it, and they love it on Amazon Prime. So we're really proud of it, and it's Will, it originated from theater. We had done a
Right.
theater piece in the Fringe Festival, and through that, the producer hit Chuck up for the script, and we ended up making it and putting it into film festivals, and we're just ecstatic it's done so well.
Yeah, it has a definite theatrical sort of feel to it, which is awesome. I spent 15, 20 years doing British farce, which this seems to, as you can see, I didn't see a lot of doors shutting and opening, but the point is that it has that, that breakneck speed, which I kind of miss. I mean, I spent 20, 30 years falling over shit and being funny, and I don't think the same sort of comedy, because look, you guys are not, you're not in your 20s, which thank God. And the point is yeah, there we go. I can do that with my, hold on a second. But the point is that I kind of miss that kind of humor because, to be honest with you, and you'll get this, both of you, is that, I spend a lot of time personally shooting a lot of what you want to call webisodes or whatever. I created one called Seriously, which is about stuff that happens on the phone. And before COVID happened, I was actually having people in LA, friends of mine, because I'm in Temecula, and they would shoot, I would give them a script and they would shoot theirs on their phone. And then I would overlay it looking like it was a FaceTime thing, and consequently was able to do producing stuff while you were there and I'm here. But a lot of the people I was definitely dealing with young actors in their 20s that have a totally different style of humor that actually, and I don't mean this to be rude to you, anybody that's in their 20s, but it didn't have a punchline. It had I don't know what the fuck it had. I was like, they go, oh, can we put this in? I'm like, we could if it was funny. But, you know what I mean? So let's talk about this. How has humor, especially being all theater people here, how has things changed recently. There you go again. Stop messing with your camera, Chuck.
Drunk. He's drunk.
You're like, we're gonna turn this show into Where's Chuck? Like Where's Waldo? Like they're gonna be like, find him in the broadcast. I don't know where the fuck he is. He was over there a minute ago. How has comedy, guys? How has comedy changed, in your opinion? Let's take into consideration social media. Let's take into consideration just the internet. And I even bring this up in the beginning when I worked for Fox Kids, and it happened, which was Blair Witch changed everything. Because you could then go like this and put it in your pants and shoot it through here, and it was all movies. So how has all of this changed for you guys? Let's go with Chuck first.
Well, the speed and the speed of getting to things and the shortness of people's attention spans, I think, have made a big difference in the world.
No kidding.
When YouTube came out, I know everybody was saying, we're going to have content drop from 2 hours to 30 minutes. We're going to have TV series drop from 22 minutes to 5 minutes. And I was like, yeah, I'll believe it when I see it. And many people were saying that's all that would exist anymore.
Yeah.
And I disagreed with that because I think people are always saying it doesn't matter what the framing is like or the lighting or the focus if you don't tell a story. It's all about telling a story. Yeah. And you certainly can't tell the same story in 5 minutes that you can tell in 22 minutes, or that you can tell in 35 minutes, or that you can tell in 2 hours. If you have a story, I've always believed, because I write for film, I wrote That's Opportunity Knocking, and I also write songs. And Steve and I both write poems, and we both write scripts, and we both write for TV and for film. The fact is, when you have an idea, the idea tells you what it is. Yeah. If I have an idea and it's a song, I kind of have to go, what is this idea? And what is it? Oh, it's a song. No, wait, it's not a song. It's a feature screenplay. Wait, it's a novel. So the idea tells you what it is. Mm-hmm. When I first come upon an idea and then I find out what it is, then it's about boiling it down to the smallest distance it can be from the beginning to the end. Sure. Because of the fact you don't want a lot of hot air in there, which brings us to the 5-minute segments. Steve and I have done little 5-minute segment things, but That's Opportunity Knocking, for example, is 22 minutes. I just think that's what it needed to be in its perfect form.
Right. Well, the thing is that you're absolutely right. And a lot of times, if I'm writing with someone, like there's a guy recently that said, hey, I've got 2 Blackmagic cameras. I went, let's be friends. But I have my own camera, so that's kind of a joke. But the fact is that I said to him, he goes, well, I want to know, like, does the character and this, because it's called DNA Dad, and I actually started doing this. It's about a guy who finds out that he has a dad. And actually, this is my story. I found out my dad after 52 years. And he's dead, but I found out I have another brother. So I came up with this idea about doing DNA Dad because the difference between the demographics is so wide. And the dad winds up being more tech savvy than the kid does. But the bottom line is that I was telling this guy who says he's a writer. He says, well, what's this? And I go, these are about 2.5 minutes long. So I write, when I do something that short, in situations. That's it. I mean, the situation is the guy's going to pick up the phone. He figures out this, and that's the end of the thing. Bye-bye. Then you go on to the next one. You can call them mini episodes, but you can't get much out of, it's not Shakespeare, folks. You're only getting 2.5 minutes, so you come up with something that's entertaining. But you're right. I mean, the things have changed so much that now they have production companies that spend $5 million on 5 seconds. Stephen, give us a thought on this.
Well, I think that I agree with Chuck. I think it's the writing. I think it's the attention span. I think it's the reading. I think it's the history. I don't want to get on a soapbox, but I will so people can see me better. I'm only 5 feet tall. But I don't think people read anymore. I don't think people pay attention anymore. And I think that that has been a crumbling effect in the industry. Is
I,
everything is so fast, and people don't. I mean, when I started acting, I grew up on Carol Burnett, Tracy Ullman, Gilda Radner. I mean, these people, Woody Allen,
yeah,
people who their their scripts were tight,
yeah,
and their comedy was tight, and even stuff like Christopher Guest, which they say is all improv, which
yeah.
I don't believe. I
No,
think that so much of you can't be that brilliant and do improv. A lot of
right,
actors are not that brilliant, I've
right,
found.
right.
And I found a lot of people, I blame a lot of it on um, reality TV and America's Got Talent, because it makes everybody think that they can do it. And a lot of people, like I said, they're missing the craft. They haven't studied the masters. They don't know their own true self. They don't know their own talent. But I I've been in Hollywood for a long time, and I found a lot of people call themselves idea people, and they just spout off idea after idea, and none of them are any good. And you give your well crafted script to someone, your well crafted comedy, and they don't get it. They think I've run into actors who think they're funnier than the script, better than the material.
Oops.
And so I think it's an attention thing, and I
Yeah,
also think it's a people who don't know the craft of what it takes to be a writer,
yeah.
or everyone thinks they can do it, and I think that's very crippling to the industry and the people who really work at their art.
Yeah, you hit it right on the nose, and I. How long you been in theater, Stephen?
I've been in theater since I was in ninth grade, and that was
How long
a
ago is
long
that?
time ago. I was in ninth grade about 1984.
Okay, all right.
And,
And
and first,
Chuck, how long?
oh, I'm sorry.
Sorry, Chuck.
Same thing. Ninth grade, I took an acting class and ended up in every subsequent play in my high school.
Right, right. And the reason why I'm mentioning this is because, we've seen the ebbs and flows, and you're absolutely right. I think that what's happened is that people, they, because of social media, because of the internet, I always make the joke a lot of times on other shows that I do as well, saying that, people are hooked on iPhonics. Because the fact of the matter is that it just it's squirrel. And in regards to acting, and sometimes people, I feel like people may be thinking I'm being old by saying this, but and I'm not saying any one of us are not saying what we're saying so you can go, well, these guys are the masters, they've been around. I'm saying this because guess what? When you've been doing this shit as long as we've all been doing this, you get to say this, because what you get then is you hopefully get people that will listen to you, that are perhaps younger, maybe not, they're not as seasoned, and they should just listen. Because the problem we're having now is that people do not want to work, that they just want to press a button. America's Got Talent, they get on there, they go, look, I got a belly button ring and I got sleeve tattoos, I'm doing this, I'm twerking, and shouldn't I be famous? No. How many people ask me all the time, how much training? You must have a lot of training. What school did you go to? I went to the School of Hard Knocks, where I did, what, 50 shows in 5 years, and then 150 in 10. I mean, back to back rehearsal and that. And they go, wow, why? I go, because you do it, you learn. You learn what works. You learn what doesn't work. People don't have the discipline anymore. Some do. I stand corrected if you are. That they want to get out there and learn it. They just want to press a button and make it happen, or get as many likes as they can.
Yeah.
I don't mean this to be I don't mean to take people down in this show. I don't. But look, can you all tell me any other industry that's as hard as this to work in?
This
No. Maybe politics.
No, I don't think so. You just have to lie there.
I,
We can't.
I, 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 I've been working in the industry a very long time, and I have found that uh, people want to be famous. They want celebrity, and the industry perpetuates it because the industry they don't know good from bad anymore. They
No.
only know famous from not famous,
Yeah. Yeah.
and
Type.
and
Type.
and,
Yeah.
and if something is hot and flashy, the industry follows it. And
Yeah.
they go, "Oh, that's it." And and as a screenwriter, I know that executives don't read anymore. This is not to cut anyone down, but they
No.
don't read, they
No.
don't pay attention. Um, they're everyone is quick to jump on something. Let's say you give someone a script, they're quick to jump on it and criticize it,
Sure.
um, as opposed to how can we make it?
Right.
I once heard Bette Midler give an interview and she goes, "Oh, there are just no scripts out there for women of my age." I'm all, "Yeah, there are. You're just not getting them.
Yeah.
Your team is not sending them to you because people write them,
Yeah.
you know?
Right.
So I think it's a matter of the celebrity thing and reality TV that makes the art confused with the commerce.
Yeah.
And and back in the studio system, they at least had a governor on what talent was.
Yeah.
They actors were all so unique and they knew their brand, and the writers, they all knew their craft for the in the main,
Right.
because the studio system provided word that I love, which a lot of people don't: structure.
Yeah.
Everyone thinks that it's fly by night, it's improv, it's made up, and I'm a big believer in absolute structure of your craft, whether it be writing, directing, writing songs, or acting. You have to have absolute structure and know exactly what you're doing.
Right. Let's talk about what you think. If you're talking to, which you are somewhere out there, you're talking to someone that's just getting started now. Please don't think that I'm talking about someone who's in their teens or their 20s. I'm talking about a lot of people even older that I meet all the time on set or in auditions. Like I was on this IHOP commercial I was talking about, and this guy came up. He had long hair, mustache, beard down to here, and I'm like, he's one of the other cowboys, which was weird because he was nothing like one. But anyway, bottom line is that afterwards he talked my ear off, and during the shots he talked it off and talked to the director, and I'm like, okay, newbie. But what sort of advice can you all give? Let's start with Chuck. And if someone's starting in this business, what would be the thing that would maybe get people through the learning curve for the first 5 years?
Find a way to do your craft, which gets right back to what you said. I did. I don't know how many shows you said, but you said show after show, 50 shows, 100, whatever. The more you do, the better you get at anything. There
Yeah.
was a philosopher, American philosopher named John Dewey, that I don't know the exact quote, but paraphrased, what John Dewey said was, in terms of education, you learn to do what you do. You don't learn to do what you don't do.
Right.
And I think any chance you get to be in front of people and perform is going to make you better. So try out for every play you can try out for. Try out for every
Yeah.
little short film you can try out for. Don't complain that it's a small film. Don't complain that it's a small house. If you can't get a role in something, write a little short play and be in it yourself.
Yeah.
If that doesn't work for you, write some stand-up comedy and go to an open mic. Find ways to do your craft, and the more you do, the better you'll get.
Absolutely. Stephen?
I would say, well, I teach acting and writing in a book I wrote called Awakening the Actor Within. And that book is all about the craft. It's all about reading material, studying the masters. And I would say learn everything you can. And I would also say, network as much as you can as well. In addition to, if you're an actor, instead of just going out and auditioning, get yourself into uh, smaller films. Uh, get yourself out there so people can see you. And if you are in a film and it's somewhat decent, tell people about it. Because I find
That's funny.
actors, I, I don't know about you, Will, but I was trained to be shy and afraid of casting directors or
Yeah,
anyone in the business.
yeah,
I didn't realize that they were just doing a job,
yeah,
and and I did a temp job a couple of years ago where I actually worked in a casting director's office. And one of the things that surprised me is that he would actually have actors come in and just meet him.
yeah,
And I never had that. I've had at least 10 agents in
yeah,
this town. I never had a general. I didn't even know they existed.
yeah.
So
They
I would say,
used to. They used to.
and that's part of what I say about networking and the old studio system. The old studio system, they would groom people to be stars. They groomed a Judy Garland. They
Right,
groomed a Betty Davis. They
right.
groomed the Humphrey Bogarts, Jimmy Stewarts. And now it's a free for all. And that goes for writing and acting.
Yeah,
So as it's the more free form and free fall it is, the harder it is
yeah.
because the people that are looking at material have to wade through a bunch of the stuff that's no good.
Understatement.
What?
Understatement.
And everybody is knocking at the door.
Yeah,
And often people with real talent, I find, have the lowest self worth, I guess, or the lowest I'm going to get out there and sell my work.
right.
It's a different animal, but we're living in a time now where everyone is not every most in the main people think that it's easy and they
Yeah,
are bombarding the industry. And I
yeah,
think that's big, and you can't stop it, but I don't know the answer, but I think that you, as an artist, now you're living in a time where you have to self promote yourself, you have to
totally.
network yourself.
Yeah,
And I find a lot of actors and writers are very shy at that part. That's the hardest part I have to teach actors, is to get out there and market themselves.
yeah. No, no. I couldn't agree with you more. I'm really shy. Um,
Me too.
but
Me too.
I'm kidding. I'm not really. But one thing that you had said, Chuck, which I totally agree with. I mean, we all saying this, which is that get out and do it. Do something. One of the things that is the biggest pitfall, and again, you've said it, Stephen, as well, is that you can't just go out and do TikTok videos and do your own Instagram stuff like that all the time. And I'll tell you why. Because I believe that and I know you all do this, but I do this a lot with myself and I have for years, so now I know what to do, but it's called self-evaluation. You can't just do something because you can do it. Because sometimes if you do that, you're going to come off and it's going to be a problem. And the reason why it's a problem is that nowadays there are casting directors, there are people looking online. And I've interviewed many casting directors, and they go, yeah, we saw this one person, really liked them, but then we saw that they were posting this stuff on Instagram and it was just horrendous. It showed me that their timing was bad. It showed me that they didn't know what they were doing in front of a camera, even if it's your phone. And yeah, we kind of went away. This is now a barometer as well of being able to see whether or not you can do something with your career. But the biggest problem that I think that actors don't realize and creatives is that it's called show business for a reason. Business. And I can remember back even when I started it, that I was always hustled, and that's the business part of it. It's just that now, instead of you fill out an actor's access, or a casting frontier or LA casting uh, audition, it's not going to be a few hundred. It's now up to 4,000 people are going to submit with you. Are they better? Not necessarily. Matter of fact, probably not. But it doesn't matter because the industry is inundated, so they're going another 3,000 people. Why would I mean? Who cares? It's a one-liner. It's a co-star. It's just much more difficult nowadays, gentlemen. Yes.
I agree. I think that it's so hard to even at my advanced age. um,
Nice way to
I
put it.
I find that it's absolutely inundated with people, and like I said, people the people at the top, they don't know good from bad. They just know famous from not famous, and you're
Yeah.
dealing with that too. You're
Yeah.
dealing with a lot of people who've done TV who aren't doing it anymore, and they're getting the co-stars, and it's such a an inundated thing, and I think it's I don't know what the solution is. And now actors are having to do self tapes, and those have to be absolutely perfect.
I know.
And so, actors and actors always have to pay for that, you
Yeah, I know.
know?
Yeah, well,
So
the fact that we pay almost $20 a month for individually for the 3 or 4 casting places, and it's like you're literally buying scratch off lottery tickets. And no matter how advanced, no matter how good looking, no matter how funny you are, you're literally buying 2, 4, 6, about almost $80 a month worth of lottery tickets. And then when you get it, the problem is you only get a $2 ticket because that's the industry now. Chuck, I want to ask you a question, Chuck, and then we'll wrap it up, guys. I don't want to take too much more of your time. I hope you're having a good time.
Love it.
Um,
um,
Good, good. I'll have you back on again because you guys are awesome. One question I want to ask you from a music standpoint, Chuck, is that all of the stuff that we talked about applies, but what in the music industry have you seen anything different happening in the last? Because God knows that because of American Idols and anybody's got talent and nobody's got talent programs. It's brought out every Tom, Dick, and Harriet that thinks that they can sing "I Will Survive." And unfortunately, we don't survive when they sing it. So, what has changed about that, if you don't mind me asking?
I think that the talent of the singing uh, hasn't necessarily gotten worse. The music industry, when I was growing up, didn't have anything to do with dancing. Like Stevie Nicks and the members of Fleetwood Mac didn't dance. Don Henley and the Eagles didn't dance.
Yeah,
Uh, Now, so many acts, you sort of have to be like a front song and dance man uh, and
yeah,
or woman, and that has changed things. But honestly, I think they do a pretty good job of finding good singers,
yeah.
but they don't always find people that can interpret the way that
Oh,
uh, that great singers can interpret. All the way back to Billie Holiday,
right.
great singers can take text and bring it alive,
Mhm.
not just look good and sound good singing it. And I think that's true about the songwriting too. Uh, it's hard. You have to dig deep, and I think this is true about acting, and I think it's true about screenwriting. There's depth that Tennessee Williams had, and Eugene O'Neill had, and William Inge had, that you don't get unless you really dig down into your soul and put your life on the page. And I think that's what's missing.
I got you. I mean, I couldn't agree with you more. And, there are some tremendous, I mean, our industry of performing has changed vastly, and some really amazing talent vocally has come out acting wise. I'm not totally sure about that one because you're an actor. It's not like you would go, wow, this style actor from 1945 was so much better than, I mean, it's just acting is acting, and hopefully you're just being. As a magician, I can tell you that a lot of the stuff that's happening now, like the cardistry, is like blowing people's minds because of what's actually happening technically. It's like singing. You're hearing some of these people that are coming out of the woodwork, and you go, wow. Speaking of interpretation, I do watch every once in a while, I'll watch online and I'll see the gold ticket people on America's Got Talent or whatever it happens to be. And they had this woman on. She was like 30. She went by like, I don't know what it was called, Rainbow Girl. I don't know. But she's 30 years old and she has 2% chance of living. And she's got cancer everywhere. Very adorable. You can tell she's not isn't feeling well. But I have to tell you something. When she sang, you just couldn't move. The interpretation, and then when she finished, like Simon and they were just like, it was just silent. And the point is that I'm hoping that everybody doesn't wait for their talent to be as vivid and colorful. And, if you're gonna die, and you're really being passionate about it, because I think, as you gentlemen have shown in our trailer, that I'm going to let people say at the end of this show again, is that having fun is great, and you can do that by doing shit on your phone, but really spending your time and knocking it out and understanding it and refining is truly what really makes you at the end of the day go, yeah, my name is on that. And there's a good reason for that. Because nowadays, there's a lot of shit out there. And I hope that people have gained some great knowledge from what we've talked about, both Stephen and both Chuck. I really appreciate you coming on the show. Any last bits of, I always say the best word in the English language is free, best four-letter word. Any words of advice you can leave us with? If you were going to say anything to anybody, Stephen, what would it be?
I would say study your craft and never give up.
Love that part. Chuck?
I would say always try to keep a positive attitude no matter if things are going negative, whether that's on the set or in your life.
Yeah.
Just try to stay positive.
Yeah, that's a very good point. I call it seeding. And a lot of actors say to me, they go, how do you keep from being depressed? I go, well, I'm always depressed because I know I should be an A-lister. But, but the point is that I do what I call seeding. You're not always, wait, look, when you're a farmer, when you place seeds down in the ground or you want to plant something, do you wake up the next day and go, why isn't it growing? But give yourself the proper watering and nurturing of what you do proper, as these gentlemen have told you, and I've told you, because you're going to wake up one day and go, look, everybody, something's coming up and it's awesome. And then one day it may bloom and you'll either eat it or you'll look at it and give it to someone and go, I made that. And until you understand that, I think you can quickly die in this industry. Am I right?
Absolutely. I tell people all the time, actors, they say, "Well, how do you handle rejection?" I go on to the next 10. Go pitch yourself 10 more times. Well, to what? They go to what? I can't. I got to sit around and wait for this wicked notice to come up. I'm like, nope. Get out there and pitch yourself 10 more times.
Yeah, yeah. Because you know the days of sitting on a bar stool. It's going to depress both of you, but the days of sitting on a bar stool in East or West Hollywood with your legs hanging out and getting a role in movies is probably gone for the most part, especially for us. Gentlemen, what a pleasure it has been. You're going to come back again. I know you are. Uh,
Yes.
Really quickly, I want you to know that you can go to, of course, roundearthentertainment.com and see both these gentlemen. Can you tell me really quickly, guys, if you don't mind, tell me if someone wants to get a hold of you and they want coaching, what do you provide other than wonderful entertainment?
Well, first off, if they want to see the film that you showed the trailer of, that's just go to Amazon Prime. It's on Amazon Prime.
Love
For individual coaching, that's more Steven's world.
it. Okay.
They can go to my website, awakeningtheactorwithin.com /blog.
Yeah, I saw that. And then, Chuck, are you doing any coaching or anything, or are you just telling people, no, I don't want to do that?
Right now,
I'm worried about myself.
the truth is the cruise lines have come up again,
Oh,
and
good.
so I'm really gonna be slammed with all the vocal coaching that I'll do with that. And then Stephen and I are working on our next movie. So and
What is
I'm
that?
well, I'm
Can we
the
say anything?
I'm not. It's hard to give you any sort of a capsulation of that. Maybe next time if you have us on again. But so that's I wrote and directed that, and Stephen will star in that. So we're just so busy with that right now that I don't have time for anything else.
So, Chuck, you're the writer and the director on that?
Yeah, well, Steven's more of a writer than me, but I did write That's Up Knocking, and then I've written this next thing that I'm directing.
Good. I just want to make sure I know who to send my headshot and resume to.
Yes.
I'm the star of it. I'm the star of the movie.
Well, there's a surprise. Gentlemen, you've been a pleasure, and I hope to see you come back on the show again. We'll get you around when things are coming, maybe when you launch the next movie, and we'll get some PR going for you. But thank you, gentlemen, for hanging out on the show, and we will see you next time, okay?
Thank you, Will.
Don't leave me yet. I'm gonna say some closing comments, but hang tight. All right, everybody. Hey, thanks for hanging on. Acting Up Radio / podcast / live stream, whatever it happens to be called. Thanks for hanging out with us. Great guest today. Always love it. If you're interested in being on the show, you certainly can get a hold of me on the website, which is mine, actorwillroberts.com. Check it out on Instagram. It's the same, actorwillroberts.com. And if you're interested in anything else, let us know. Otherwise, again, I want you to go check out this trailer that I'm about to show you again, but actually check out the actual film. Look at it. There's so many streaming channels out there nowadays, but I'm going to tell you, watch this. I think you're going to love it, and I want you to go see the whole thing and let me know about it when you do for the next show. Last thing I want to say is that we talked about this. There's no shortcut for work. There really isn't. It is a 4-letter word. And there is no shortcut for work in this industry. But here's the thing. If you're not really enjoying the work that you're doing, if you don't wake up, I just got tingles. If you wake up and you're not excited about getting on your computer, getting the stuff, getting in front of a camera, doing what you're doing, get out of the business. Because there's a lot more people nowadays than there was when we all started. And we would love it if you got out of the business, because we don't need more people that are just filling spaces. We need more people that we can go against in regards to on camera and have great rapport and have great success. Get out there, get it done, and by all means be successful for yourself and what you do. Go out there, have a life. But most importantly, have a career. See you soon.
That's all I want in the whole wide world, is to live like those guys in the gangster movies.
So where's the suitcase?
That's my suitcase. I put the blanket over it to keep it warm. What do you say we take this into your bedroom?
Are you two robbing us?
The only thing more awkward than the wrong people having sex is the right people not having sex.
You know what your problem is? You're not intimidating.
How about now?
Not at all. Not in the least.
My psychic told me that I
How
am
could you
always...
go to bed with that unstable little twerp?
So you're Rob, I'm Wally. What's your name?
I don't have a name. I'm your worst nightmare.
That's from a movie.
I told him he doesn't got it.
Damn it!
I'll rip off rich people with you, 'cause I got nothing else to do. I'll rip off rich people with you, and let's get ice cream too.